There is hope. There is healing. But you have to go get it. All right, I'm going to see if I can get through this. It's a little bit of a story time. So I was leaving my son's speech therapy appointment today, and as we're leaving, we're about to go down the stairs, and there's a guy that I had seen before in the physical therapy area, and he was leaving. He's getting on the elevator. He's walking with crutches, and I just knew that this guy's a veteran. He's wearing like a grunt style T-shirt, but he also had like a hat, like just all the telltale signs. I just knew, and I stopped him before he got on the elevator, and I said, "Hey, man, are you a veteran?" And so that kind of sparked a conversation, and come to find out, he's been struggling with his mental health, and that's all I was trying to do was check on him. And he's at physical therapy, getting his body worked on, because of things that happened to him in the service. And he did like 10 years in the service and destroyed his body. And he's still yet only 80% connected, can barely walk, on crutches. And he's been this way for 10 years now. And something that he said, though, stuck out to me. Something he said really hit me kind of hard. When I asked him, about the crutches, I asked him, how it happened. Did you get injured overseas? I mean, he said, "Oh, it wasn't anything big." And I knew what he was doing. Like he was discounting his injury because it didn't happen in combat, or it didn't happen in some combat arms MOS. Like I knew that's what he was doing. He was like a heavy equipment guy, and he got injured working with heavy equipment somehow. I don't know how he did it. We didn't stand there forever talking, but the point is that he got injured in a war zone. He gave his body to the military. He gave a piece of himself that he'll never get back. He'll never be 100% again. He gave that piece of himself away to the military, and he's standing there questioning the validity of his injury because it wasn't in combat, or because it wasn't a combat arms MOS. And he's like, "Oh, it wasn't anything big." And I got in the truck, and I was just kind of choked up, man, because we have guys out here walking around who are injured physically and mentally. And sometimes you can see their scars, and sometimes you can't. And this guy's walking around wondering if he did enough. He gave away his ability to walk. And he's wondering if he did enough, and he's wondering if it's valid because it wasn't in combat. The fact is that he will likely never be the same again. The fact is that he will struggle with the mental issues, with PTSD, the things that he saw overseas, and then dealing with the repercussions of the injury. It breaks my heart, like on a deep level, because I know that place. I know that dark place of wondering if you did enough, and wondering if the things you're struggling with are valid. And so that's why I'm making this video. I want somebody to know. I want somebody to understand that what you're struggling with, what you're going through, is valid. It doesn't matter if you were some combat arms MOS. It doesn't matter if you were in combat, if you saw combat, or if you didn't see. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Because the fact is that you signed the dotted line, and you gave away your life to the military, to this organization, to defend your country. And the military borrowed you at 100%. When you signed the dotted line, you were 100%. Otherwise, they wouldn't let you in. And when you came home, I promise you, you were not 100%. They returned you damaged in some way, shape, or form. But these are guys that gave away pieces of themselves for the greater good of the country and of our freedom. And they walk around among us with those pieces of themselves missing that they'll never get back. Pieces of them that died in a desert somewhere far away. And man, it just kills me that this is the epidemic that our veterans are dealing with, and yet they still manage to make it home somehow, and they try to scavenge a life together, and they don't know how, and they don't know what resources there are, and they don't know how to get help, and they don't talk to people because no one will understand. And that's why I initiated a conversation with this guy, because it was so good for him for him to be seen. It was so good for him to be understood. And when he began to open up about his mental health issues, I said, dude, I know. I've lived it. And the reason it tears me up so bad is because I've been to that very dark place. And I know that there is healing available for him. There's healing available for the other veterans that are walking around with pieces of themselves missing. Because I am on that healing journey, because I'm still on that healing journey. I'm not 100% better, but I am healing. And I am better than I was yesterday. And I'm certainly better than I was 5 years ago, 10 years ago. And so I guess the point that I'm trying to make is check on your veterans. You have veterans in your circle somewhere. Check on them. And if you're a civilian, or if you're a person that never served, that's okay. Check on them, and they will likely not open up to you. They will likely shut you down and say, oh, I'm fine. Connect them with another veteran, and so I left that interaction with him and said, hey dude, let's grab coffee, let's grab lunch, let's do something, because he hardly gets out of his house. He's standing there. He gives me 15 minutes of his time. He's standing there in pain. In physical pain. And this is what our veterans are dealing with. So check on them. Reach out to them. Call them, text them, say, hey man, I'm thinking about you. And it's the little things, man. And it just sucks, man, because like that guy's walking around, and he told me, he said, I'm only here because of my wife and my kids. I can't leave them. And I know what that's like. I know what that's like. To think, I wish I was just gone, but I can't leave because my wife and my kids need me. And I can't do that to them. There is hope. There is healing. But you have to go get it. You got to be willing to be vulnerable and be honest with yourself, and be honest with the things that you saw and what you did. And you have to get over being judged and quit worrying about who's going to think you're a sissy for talking about it. I don't care anymore. Because all those guys that you served with that were hard as woodpecker lips and all the stuff, man, they struggle. They struggle, and they lie to you when they say they don't. It's a lie. None of it's true. They're struggling on some degree, in some way, shape, or form. They're struggling. What's up, buddy? Anyway, I didn't mean for this to be so long. Check on your veterans.